very good weather today. We brought some weather. Very good weather. Like in Indonesia. President Widodo and I reiterated our shared commitment to the development of Kenya-Indonesia relations and the full pursuit of all partnership opportunities available to us in the various priority areas we have identified. And I have asked my good brother to consider another visit to Kenya. And I have also told him that at an opportune moment, I will take a visit to Indonesia to scale up what we have agreed in Nairobi in his visit. Thank you very much. Welcome, Mr. President. We've also discussed trade and investment as well as collaboration in education and vaccine development. I'm happy to inform you that His Excellency President Widodo and I have witnessed this signing of memorandum here in cooperation in different areas, in energy, which will facilitate investment in energy, geothermal to be specific, transmission and distribution of the power that will be generated. There has been extensive engagements with the private sector on this subject, and it is my belief that this will yield results very shortly. We have also witnessed the signing of cooperation agreement in mining and geology, which will involve joint studies, knowledge sharing, and capacity building between our two countries. I did send already officials from our Ministry of Mining earlier last month, led by the permanent secretary from that ministry, to go and work with their Indonesian counterparts, especially on building our capacity around our geology labs and facilities and knowledge. And I am very happy that today we have finally signed the MOU, that will make this a possibility. And I have requested His Excellency the President for the very well-developed mining industry in Indonesia to work with us to unlock our own huge potential in the mining space. Our two nations have also concluded an MOU between the Kenya Pharmacy and Poisons Board and the Indonesia Food and Drug Authority, which will facilitate the strengthening, promotion, development, and implementation of regulatory cooperation in pharmaceutical products. Specifically, we have agreed with His Excellency the President that we should never find ourselves in the place where we did when the COVID pandemic hit, where we didn't have facilities to produce our own vaccines or pharmaceutical products, and that it's time for us to work collaboratively and bring on board the private sector to ensure that we develop capacity and we ensure that we can produce vaccines and other products, pharmaceutical products, for our countries, especially in the global south. And I am very excited that there is opportunity for both Kenyan and Indonesian companies to collaborate and our two countries to benefit from the access, easy access of pharmaceutical products. And I expressed Kenya's position on the imperative to democratize global governance and financial institutions, including the United Nations Security Council, and make it much more inclusive and reflective of the current geopolitical context and dynamics. I also briefed my brother, President Widodo, on the expansion and renovation of the United Nations office in Nairobi to match facilities elsewhere in UN offices globally. President Widodo has assured me of Indonesia's support for this expansion, and Mr. President, I want to give you our appreciation as a government and as a people. These value addition ventures will catapult the value of our trade relations and leverage on the comparative advantage of Kenya to access the East African and the African market, and for Indonesia, for us to also access the ASEAN market in that region. We have additionally discussed the importance of entering into a bilateral investment treaty, as I have said, that will provide a stable and predictable investment environment, which is a precondition for accelerated private sector investment. We have tasked our two joint teams to finalize these pieces of agreements. I have informed His Excellency the President that Kenya is open for business. A significant step in this direction must remain the relaxation of and progressive abolition of visa restrictions to enter or to entry between our two nations. On our part as Kenya, we have taken the decision to extend the visa-free entry not only to holders of diplomatic and service passports, but to all holders of Indonesian passports. So our friends from Indonesia can now come to Kenya visa-free. I also had the pleasure to brief His Excellency the President on the upcoming Africa Climate Summit to be held in Nairobi from the 4th to the 6th of September this year, underscoring the primacy of cooperative approaches in the search for solutions to the most pressing global challenges of our time. And I appreciate Mr. President has informed me that they will be holding almost a similar feat in Indonesia between the 5th and the 7th, but he has graciously agreed to send a delegation at the ministerial level to represent Indonesia in our Africa Climate Summit.